Last year, I met a man in Okinawa who changed how I see aging forever. He was 88 years old, strong handshake, clear eyes. And when I asked him if he ever struggled with erections, he laughed and said, "Every morning, doctor." No pills, no therapy, just a simple 90-second ritual he'd done his entire life. At that moment, I realized something shocking. Men in Japan, even in their 80s and 90s, are living with the kind of vitality most American men lose before 70. My name is Dr. Mohit Khera. I've spent over 30 years treating men who believe their best years are behind them. I've seen the frustration, the quiet embarrassment, and the loss of confidence that comes when the body stops cooperating. But I've also seen what happens when we stop blaming age and start restoring balance, naturally from within. So here's the paradox that Western medicine keeps missing. It's not their diet, it's not genetics, and it's not luck. The reason Japanese men stay strong isn't complicated. It's biological. They've been unknowingly training their bodies every single morning to keep blood flow, oxygen, and nitric oxide alive long after most men's systems have shut down. And today, I'm going to show you how to do the same. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the exact morning ritual that keeps Japanese men firm, focused, and full of energy well into their 80s. Stay with me until the end, because once you understand how this 90-second practice works, you'll realize that your body never forgot how to perform. It just needs the signal to wake up again. Before we begin, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss another men's health tip designed to keep your body strong and your confidence alive. And if you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments to let me know it made a difference for you. If not, type 0. I read every response, and I'm here to make each video even more valuable for you. Now, let's dive into what really makes the difference. There's a specific moment every morning when your body is naturally designed to restore strength and circulation, but most men unknowingly waste it. Understanding this morning window is the first step to regaining the vitality you thought was gone. Section 1. The morning window. Most men miss. Every morning, between 6 and 8 a.m., something extraordinary happens inside the male body, but most men have no idea it's taking place. I've seen it in blood tests, hormone patterns, even brain scans. There's a brief biological window when your body is naturally ready for renewal, strength, and arousal. Your testosterone rises sharply, your nitric oxide production peaks, and your blood vessels open wider than at any other time of the day. It's as if nature designed this short window to say, now is the time to rebuild. But here's the sad truth. Most men waste it. They roll out of bed dehydrated, reach for coffee instead of water, grab their phone, and instantly flood their nervous system with stress hormones. The mind wakes up, but the body tightens. The blood thickens from dehydration, cortisol rises, and the arteries that were ready to expand suddenly constrict. Within minutes, that golden window closes. By the time they step into the shower, they've already missed the body's best opportunity to restore circulation and masculine energy. When I explain this to my patients, they're often stunned. One of them, a 72-year-old retired pilot named Henry, told me, "Doc, that's exactly how I start every day. I thought I was doing fine. I asked him how he felt most mornings. He paused, smiled sadly, and said, 'Tired, even before I've done anything.' That's not aging. That's biology being ignored." You see, the morning hours are your body's natural reset switch. Your hormones, your nervous system, your blood chemistry, all of it is aligned in your favor, but only if you meet your body halfway. In Okinawa, men in their 80s understand this instinctively. They wake slowly. They drink water before anything else. They breathe deeply, stretch gently, and allow their blood to flow before their minds fill with thoughts. They treat those first few minutes after waking as sacred. In a daily ritual of reconnection. I remember visiting a small fishing village on the coast of Okinawa. The sun had barely risen, and I watched a group of elderly men standing quietly by the shore. No one spoke. They closed their eyes, breathed with the rhythm of the waves, and then moved their hands across their abdomen and chest in slow, deliberate motions. It wasn't exercise in the Western sense, it was alignment. I later learned that this was their way of activating the body's inner current before beginning the day. And when I looked at their medical records, heart health, circulation, testosterone, I wasn't surprised to see numbers men half their age would envy. What most Western men call aging is often just disconnection. You ignore your body's signals long enough, and it stops sending them. But when you wake up and give your system oxygen, hydration, and calm instead of caffeine, tension, and stress, it responds instantly. That's when the energy returns, the mind clears, and the body remembers what it's capable of. And that's exactly why the first key to lasting male vitality is timing. Use that morning window, and your body works with you. Miss it, and you'll spend the rest of the day trying to catch up. Now that you understand how crucial those first 2 hours after sunrise truly are, let's talk about what makes Okinawan men different, and the one morning habit that transforms this biological window into a lifelong advantage. Section 2. The Okinawan Difference. When I first arrived in Okinawa, I expected to find some secret herb or rare food behind their longevity. Instead, what I found was rhythm, a quiet, intentional way of living that modern life has almost erased. One morning, I joined a group of older men near the harbor just before sunrise. The air was still, the sea glimmered softly, and these men, all in their late 70s to early 90s, stood barefoot on the sand with their eyes closed. They breathed deeply, their movements slow and synchronized, almost like a dance between their hearts and the ocean breeze. There were no gym memberships, no supplements, no equipment, just presence. And yet, these men radiated energy. I remember one of them, Hiroshi, who was 86 at the time. His handshake was firm, his posture straight, his voice steady. When I asked about his routine, he smiled and said, "Doctor, every morning I wake my blood before I wake my mind." That sentence struck me. In the West, we do the opposite. We wake our minds with screens, caffeine, and urgency, while our circulation remains asleep. But in Okinawa, men begin each day by awakening their inner current, the flow that keeps their body and spirit alive. I spent 3 weeks observing their mornings, and a pattern emerged. Before breakfast, before conversation, they focus on breath and balance. They hydrate first thing, taking small sips of room-temperature water to thin their blood and rehydrate their cells after the night's rest. Then, they perform slow, deliberate breathing combined with gentle pelvic engagement, not strenuous, not forced, just enough to feel the pulse of life moving through them. It's a ritual of reconnection, a signal to the body that it's time to open, not tighten. One morning, I asked Dr. Takashi Yamamoto, a local urologist who's been practicing for 4 decades, why erectile issues seemed so rare among his elderly patients. He chuckled softly and said, "Because here, we don't fight our bodies. We listen to them." That's the Okinawan difference. Their strength doesn't come from medicine or machines. It comes from cooperation with their own biology. Their mornings aren't rushed, they're respected. And that respect ripples through every system in the body, from the heart to the brain to the smallest blood vessel in the pelvis. What's remarkable is how this simplicity produces measurable results. Studies of Okinawan men show lower cortisol levels, higher nitric oxide production, and healthier heart rates well into their 80s. But beyond the science, there's something you can feel, a calm confidence that comes from being in harmony with their own bodies. They aren't chasing youth, they're maintaining vitality by honoring routine. And when I compared this to the men I treat back home, good men, hardworking men who rush through mornings, skip meals, and live under constant tension, the contrast was painful. We've traded presence for productivity, and in doing so, we've severed the natural connection that keeps the male body thriving. The truth is, you don't need to move to Okinawa to reclaim this. You only need to bring that same intentional rhythm into your own mornings, because the real secret isn't what they eat or how they live, it's how they start each day. Now that you understand how these men set the tone for strength and longevity, let me show you why most Western men lose it. The silent biological decline that begins in your 40s and steals your firmness long before your age does. Section 3. Why erections fade with age. Every man I've ever treated has asked me the same question in one form or another. Doctor, what happened to me? They say it quietly, often with a hint of shame, as if they've failed somehow. But the truth is, it's not failure. It's physiology. And once you understand it, you realize it's not permanent. It's reversible. What really happens as you age isn't that your body stops working. It just starts working differently. The main driver of male performance isn't testosterone alone. It's circulation, nerve balance, and nitric oxide. Those three elements are the foundation of male vitality, and they begin to shift silently around your 40s. By the time you reach 60, the changes are noticeable. By 70, they can feel discouraging, but they're not irreversible. First, nitric oxide, the molecule that tells your blood vessels to open, declines by almost 50% between age 40 and 70. That means even if your desire is strong, your blood simply can't reach where it needs to go with the same power it once had. Second, your vagus nerve, which controls the rest and restore mode of your body, weakens. You spend more time in stress mode, with blood vessels constricted and muscles tense. And third, your blood itself thickens due to dehydration, inflammation, and reduced oxygen exchange. That thick, sluggish blood moves slowly, starving the organs that depend on it. Einenkilijting, your heart, brain, and yes, your penis. One of my patients, Alan, was 73 when he came to see me. "Doc," he said, "I feel like the lights are on, but no one's home." His lab results showed it clearly: low nitric oxide, high cortisol, poor oxygenation. His body was stuck in fight or flight, a state of constant defense instead of renewal. And that's the trap so many men fall into, living in quiet tension, never realizing their nervous system is the invisible hand keeping them from feeling alive. But the human body is remarkably forgiving. When you give it oxygen, hydration, and the signal to relax, it remembers how to function. Nitric oxide production can rebound, blood flow can improve, the nervous system can relearn calm. I've seen men in their 80s regain what they thought was gone forever, not through drugs or surgery, but through small, consistent changes that retrain the body's chemistry. Think of your body as an instrument. Over time, it falls out of tune. The strings of circulation, the rhythm of hormones, the harmony of nerves, they drift apart. Western medicine often focuses on one string, testosterone, but true vitality comes from tuning the entire instrument. When all three systems, nitric oxide, nerve balance, and circulation, play in harmony again, the music returns. Aging doesn't take away your ability to feel, love, or perform. It just hides it under layers of neglect and stress. And once you remove those layers, the power beneath them is still there, waiting. I've seen it too many times to doubt it. Now that you know what's really causing the decline, the next question is simple. How do you reverse it? What can you do, right now, to restore that flow and strength? The answer lies in a ritual that takes less than 2 minutes. And it's been keeping Japanese men vibrant for generations. Section 4. The 90-second Japanese Ritual. When I first learned about this ritual, I didn't believe it could be that powerful. 90 seconds? It sounded too simple, almost ridiculous. But after seeing what it did for my patients, men who had given up hope, I no longer doubt its effectiveness for a single moment. This daily practice, followed by Japanese men well into their 80s and 90s, isn't about exercise or meditation. It's about awakening the biology that modern life has put to sleep. It's about giving your body permission to flow again. You'll want to do it first thing in the morning, before you eat, before you check your phone, before the noise of the world rushes in. Because in those quiet minutes, your body is most ready to respond. Your hormones are primed, your vessels are relaxed, and your mind is clear enough to listen. The ritual begins with something deceptively simple. Breathing. Sit on the edge of your bed, place one hand on your chest and one on your belly, and breathe in slowly through your nose for 4 counts. Hold for 2. Then exhale through your mouth for 6. Do this 3 times. What you're doing here is waking up your vagus nerve, the great switch that moves your body from stress to calm. Most men live their lives stuck in fight or flight mode, their hearts racing, their vessels tight. But with these deep, steady breaths, your body begins to shift gears. Your blood starts carrying more oxygen, your heart slows. You literally feel the tension leave your shoulders. Next comes the part that surprises most men, the pelvic activation. While you continue breathing deeply, tighten the muscles you'd use to stop urinating midstream. Hold for 3 seconds, release for 2, and repeat this 6 times. These are the pelvic floor muscles, the foundation of male vitality. When you engage them, you send a direct message to the blood vessels in your pelvis. Open up, let the blood in, stay strong. It's the same mechanism that modern medications try to mimic, but here, you're using your body's own natural system to achieve it. The final step is the tension release. Stand up slowly, inhale deeply, and tighten every muscle in your body. Fists, legs, abdomen, face. Hold it for 5 seconds, then exhale hard and let everything go. Do this twice. It might sound small, but what you've just done is flush cortisol, the stress hormone, out of your system. You've told your body, I'm safe now. You can relax. And that's it. 90 seconds. Yet inside that short window, you've achieved what many men spend months chasing: relaxed vessels, oxygen-rich blood, and a calm, balanced nervous system. It's not magic, it's physiology, reawakened through discipline. When I taught this to my patients, I expected mild results. What I saw were transformations. One man told me he started sleeping through the night for the first time in years. Another said his energy came back before noon instead of fading after breakfast. And yes, more than a few told me their morning firmness had returned after just a week. This practice doesn't add something foreign to your body. It simply unlocks what's already there. It reminds your system how to function the way it was designed to. Now that you understand how this 90-second ritual works on the surface, let me show you what's really happening inside your body when you do it. The fascinating science that explains why something so simple can change everything. Section 5. The science behind the ritual. The first time I saw the blood test results from a patient who practiced this ritual for just 2 weeks, I couldn't believe my eyes. His nitric oxide levels had jumped by nearly 40%, his cortisol dropped by almost a third, and his resting heart rate had fallen by 8 beats per minute. Those aren't random numbers. They're signs of a body coming back to life. What amazed me even more wasn't just the data, it was how he looked. His skin had color again, his posture straightened, and he carried himself with a quiet confidence that said, I feel like me again. That's when I knew this wasn't just some breathing trick, it was biology in motion. When you perform the 90-second ritual, several powerful things happen inside you, all at once. The deep, rhythmic breathing floods your blood with oxygen. Oxygen-rich blood is thinner, moves faster, and nourishes every organ more efficiently. This alone can transform your circulation, but it doesn't stop there. As you activate your pelvic floor muscles, your body releases nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for expanding your blood vessels. It's the same mechanism pharmaceutical drugs attempt to replicate, but in this case, it's 100% natural and completely under your control. Here's what makes this so special. Nitric oxide doesn't just help with erections. It supports your heart, your brain, your memory, and even your immune system. It's the messenger that tells your blood where to go and how to flow. By reawakening that process each morning, you're essentially rebooting your circulatory system daily, like flushing fresh water through pipes that have been stagnant overnight. And then there's the final step, the full body tension and release. Most men don't realize how much hidden stress they carry in their bodies. Shoulders, jaw, abdomen, years of tension locked in place. When you contract every muscle and then exhale, you're not just stretching, you're triggering your nervous system to switch from fight or flight to rest and repair. Your vagus nerve, the great regulator of calm, sends a message throughout your body that it's safe to open, to heal, to restore. It's fascinating because this trifecta, oxygen, nitric oxide, and relaxation, directly targets the 3 reasons erections weaken with age. You're addressing the root cause, not just the symptom. Over time, this practice retrains your blood vessels to stay flexible and responsive, your nervous system to recover faster, and your body to maintain balance naturally. That's why men who do this consistently report benefits beyond the bedroom: clearer minds, deeper sleep, steadier moods, and a sense of vitality they haven't felt in decades. I often tell my patients that this ritual isn't just about firmness. It's about freedom. Freedom from the fear that your body is too old. Freedom from dependence on pills or quick fixes. And freedom from the belief that decline is inevitable. The truth is, your body wants to heal. It's built to recover when you give it what it needs. So the real question isn't whether this works. The science is clear. The question is whether you'll give your body the consistency it deserves. Because in just a moment, I'll share how men in Okinawa, and even some of my oldest patients, built this ritual into their lives so naturally that it became as effortless as brushing their teeth. And once you learn how they did it, you'll never look at your mornings the same way again. Section 6. How consistency changes everything. If there's one truth I've learned after 3 decades of helping men, it's this: the body rewards consistency, not intensity. You don't need to run marathons or live in the gym to feel alive again. You just need to show up for yourself every single morning. That's what separates the men who change their lives from those who stay stuck. Not motivation, not luck, just quiet, daily discipline. When I first taught this ritual, some men were skeptical. They expected fireworks overnight. But the ones who stayed consistent, who practiced it every morning without fail, were the ones who transformed the most. I remember Clifford, 76, a retired engineer. When he first came to me, he felt defeated. His energy was low, his confidence gone, but he promised he'd give the ritual 30 days. By day 9, he noticed something stirring. By day 12, he woke up with firmness he hadn't felt in 3 years. By day 30, he wasn't just performing better, he was sleeping deeply, laughing more, and walking taller. It wasn't a miracle. It was biology responding to routine. The men in Okinawa understand this better than anyone. They don't see this ritual as medicine. To them, it's maintenance. Like watering a garden. Every morning, they nurture their body with oxygen, movement, and calm. And because they repeat it daily, the benefits compound. Their hormones stay balanced. Their circulation stays strong. Their minds stay sharp. Over time, that consistency becomes invisible. It's simply who they are. That's why they remain vital, active, and intimate well into their 80s and 90s. Western men often make the same mistake. They chase instant results. They try something for a few days, then stop when they don't see change. But your body doesn't respond to quick fixes. It responds to rhythm. Think of your circulation like music. If you play one note once, it fades instantly. But if you play it again and again, it becomes melody, then harmony, then strength. That's what consistency does. It creates rhythm inside you, a pulse that carries energy and confidence through every part of your life. I've had men tell me, "Doc, I forgot to do it for a few days, and I could feel the difference." They weren't imagining it. Their blood grew sluggish again, their energy dipped, their sleep worsened. Then they got back on track, and everything clicked again. That's how fast your body responds when you commit, and how quickly it reminds you when you stop. The beauty of this ritual is that it doesn't require willpower once it becomes habit. Do it at the same time every morning, ideally between 6 and 8 a.m., when your body's natural testosterone and nitric oxide surge is at its peak. And soon it becomes automatic, like brushing your teeth or brewing your first cup of coffee. The more predictable it becomes, the more your body prepares for it. Your nervous system begins to anticipate the calm. Your blood vessels expect the oxygen. Your hormones align with your rhythm. This is how real transformation happens, quietly, predictably, one morning at a time. Consistency turns biology into vitality. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful. And when you stick with it long enough, you stop thinking about performance altogether because your body simply works the way it's meant to. Now, you might be wondering, if this ritual can do so much, what could possibly undo it? What daily mistake is silently sabotaging your nitric oxide and destroying your progress without you realizing it? The answer is shocking. And it's sitting in almost every American kitchen right now. Section 7. the hidden enemy in your kitchen. After helping hundreds of men restore their strength and confidence, I started noticing a pattern. Some men saw rapid progress with the ritual, deeper sleep, firmer mornings, calmer minds, while others improved more slowly, even though they were just as consistent. At first, I couldn't understand why. Then I discovered the culprit hiding right inside their kitchens. It wasn't alcohol or sugar or caffeine, it was something far more subtle, something most doctors still call healthy. And yet, it was quietly destroying the very molecule that makes male vitality possible: nitric oxide. Let me explain. Many of my patients proudly tell me, "Doc, I cook with vegetable oil now." My cardiologist said it's heart healthy, but when we tested their nitric oxide levels, they were some of the lowest I'd ever seen. The truth is, certain refined oils, the kind found in nearly every processed food, salad dressing, and frying pan in America, are loaded with compounds that inflame your arteries and suppress nitric oxide production. Soybean oil, canola oil, corn oil, sunflower oil. These are the silent saboteurs. They oxidize easily, turning your once supple blood vessels rigid and sluggish. In Okinawa, it's a completely different story. They don't cook with these modern oils. Instead, they use small amounts of sesame or olive oil, natural fats that protect the lining of the blood vessels rather than damage it. Combined with their morning ritual, this simple dietary difference keeps their nitric oxide levels high and their circulation strong, even at 80 or 90 years old. One of my patients, Daniel, was 81 when he started the ritual. He followed every step faithfully for weeks, but saw little improvement. I asked him to bring in a list of what he ate every day. His meals were clean, his portions balanced, but he cooked everything in canola oil. We switched him to extra virgin olive oil and a touch of avocado oil instead. Within 3 weeks, his nitric oxide levels climbed, his energy returned, and he called me one morning just to say, "Doc, my wife hasn't stopped smiling." It's not an exaggeration to say this one ingredient can undo all your hard work. You can breathe perfectly, move perfectly, even hydrate properly. But if your blood vessels are being attacked by inflammatory oils, your nitric oxide will never reach its full potential. That's why I tell every man who follows this program, your kitchen can be your medicine cabinet, or it can be your slowest poison. The choice is in the bottle you reach for every morning. What most people don't realize is that the damage builds silently. You don't feel it right away, but over time, those oils thicken your blood, weaken your vessel walls, and choke off the very circulation your body depends on. It's like putting sludge in an engine. It might run for a while, but eventually, everything slows down. If you want to live like the men of Okinawa, firm, alert, and strong well into your 80s, you must protect your nitric oxide as fiercely as they do. Eliminate the oils that age your arteries and nourish your body with real, living fats that fuel your system. Because when you combine clean blood with the 90-second ritual, the results compound faster than you can imagine. Now that you know what's secretly destroying your circulation, in the next part, I'll show you how to rebuild it even stronger. With specific foods that flood your body with nitric oxide naturally, giving you the stamina, confidence, and energy you thought you'd lost forever. Section 8. Rebuilding circulation from the inside out. Once you've removed what's harming your circulation, the next step is to feed it what it needs to thrive. Your blood is not just fluid, it's life in motion, and just like any living system, it responds to nourishment. When you give it oxygen, hydration, and the right foods, it transforms. You feel lighter, stronger, more alive. The foods that restore nitric oxide are surprisingly simple: beets, pomegranates, spinach, and citrus. These are nature's boosters. They flood your blood with nitrates and antioxidants, turning stiff arteries supple again. In Okinawa, men eat fresh vegetables grown in mineral-rich soil, drink green tea loaded with polyphenols, and enjoy small portions of fish full of omega-3s that protect their vessel walls. It's not a diet, it's a daily act of maintenance. I've seen men in their 70s rebuild their circulation just by adding 1 glass of beetroot juice in the morning and a handful of leafy greens at lunch. Within weeks, their blood pressure stabilizes, their energy returns, and that natural confidence, the kind you can't fake, starts to glow again. Your body is designed to heal itself when you give it the right tools. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight, you just need to feed your blood with intention. And here's the beautiful part. When you pair these foods with the 90-second ritual, the effect multiplies. You're opening your vessels and fueling them at the same time. That's how the men in Okinawa stay strong. Not through luck, but through alignment. Now, you might wonder, if rebuilding is this simple, what's the real reason most men never experience it? The answer has nothing to do with diet or biology, it's something deeper, something emotional that I've seen destroy more vitality than any bad habit ever could. Section 9. The warning signs your body is giving you. Over the years, I've learned that the body never stops speaking. Most men just stop listening. Before any major decline, before any real trouble begins, your body whispers. It sends small, quiet warnings long before things get serious. The problem is, most men mistake these signs for just getting older, but what feels like aging is often your circulation crying out for help. If you wake up without morning firmness, that's not just a bedroom issue. It's your heart and blood vessels telling you something's wrong. If your energy crashes in the afternoon or you need extra caffeine to stay alert, your blood flow isn't delivering enough oxygen to your brain. If your hands or feet feel cold even in warm weather, that's a circulation issue. And if you find yourself irritable, anxious, or sleeping poorly, it's often because your body is trapped in constant stress mode. Too much cortisol, not enough recovery. These are not random symptoms, they're red flags. Your body is asking for oxygen, balance, and flow. It's asking you to take action before something more serious happens. I've seen men ignore these signs until they turn into heart problems, memory loss, or complete loss of function. But I've also seen men turn everything around, simply by paying attention, making small daily changes, and respecting what their body was trying to say all along. The beautiful truth is, it's never too late to listen. Your body is resilient, and the moment you give it what it's been missing, it starts to heal. In just a second, I'll show you exactly how to bring all of this together. How to turn a simple 90-second ritual into a lifelong blueprint for energy, confidence, and strength that lasts well beyond your 80s. Section 10. Conclusion. Your body remembers. After decades in men's health, I can tell you this with complete certainty. Your body never forgets how to be strong. It never forgets how to perform, how to feel alive, how to connect. It's just waiting for you to remind it. The men of Okinawa have shown us what's possible when you treat your body like something sacred, not broken. Their secret isn't youth, it's rhythm, oxygen, patience, and daily care. You've learned how the 90-second ritual unlocks circulation, how consistency rewires your biology, how the right foods rebuild nitric oxide, and how one small morning habit can turn back decades of decline. None of this requires perfection, just presence. You don't need a prescription, a clinic, or a miracle. You only need to decide that your vitality is worth 90 seconds a day. Because in the end, the difference between aging and thriving isn't luck or genetics, it's attention. The men who thrive are the ones who listen to their bodies, who give before taking, who nourish before numbing. So tomorrow morning, take that first deep breath, reclaim your rhythm, remind your body who you are, because it's been waiting for you to come home.